So, coach, I'm having problems in my relationship. What do these men want?
Well, they want many things. But fortunate for you, I took the liberty to put it in a new video series. You can catch it on my YouTube channel every Tuesday and Thursdays. And don't forget to comment, like, or subscribe.
All right, coach, let me do that now.
Love, you move too fast for me.
Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Koron Pierre, and if you don't know me, I'm a life coach and your relationship guy. Hopefully, we can work together in the future. Now, before we get started, please take the time to subscribe to the channel, right? Hit that bell icon so you get all your notifications, and then like the video so more cool people could check out the video. Now, let's talk about it. So, today's topic on episode 7 of the 100 video series titled What a Man Wants is a man wants, unconditional acceptance. Or it could also be called unconditional positive regard. Now, total acceptance for the man he is. That's more of what it should be. Or rather, you can accept someone for the person they are, right? You are you. That's who you are. That's what you do. I can accept you for that. But when we throw that term unconditional on it, it's almost can be deemed as unrealistic. Even I, the life coach, the relationship guy, had to do some re-evaluation because I'm also a science advocate, and I used to utilize the term altruistic, and I would stand by that term. But when you look at that term from a scientific basis, it can be deemed as one's neglect for oneself in order to be concerned with the interest of the other person. And you can lose yourself into that. And I used to say, no, that's selflessness. But the truth is, altruism can be considered a part of selflessness. So that term unconditional, when we talk about love, right? You may get unconditional love in parental relationship, but when we're talking about romantic love, geez Louise, I don't even know if that's possible. Because typically when we talk about romantic love, it is based on conditions. It's the conditions that brought us together. So we have to be careful, right? Now, I've been telling you about the things that a man wants, ladies, and I've been telling you how you can facilitate it. But this is one thing where we have to sort of pump the brakes. We can't really be unconditional. When you just look at the term acceptance and you subtract the unconditional from it, acceptance from a healthy romantic standpoint is accepting a man for who he is. However, people do change, but that's okay. Because if you aren't growing apart, nor are you crossing any boundaries, that's fine. It's when you go outside the bounds or you grow apart where that can mean the demise of your relationship. So people do change, their desires change, and hopefully we can grow together. If you're going to be with a man, you do have to accept him for the man he is. So if he was a promiscuous man when you met him, and he continues to be promiscuous, unfortunately, you have to continue to accept him for that dog he is, right? No, I'm just joking. That's just not true because in America in 2021, you have the right to leave, right? When you don't want to accept a man for the man he is, ladies, it's time to pack your bags. That's what I suggest. And of course, you're going to do whatever it is you want to do. But acceptance is important when we're talking about romance, because you're not buying by the hip, so to speak. This is not a blood relative, right? This is not anything that you're really tied to, right? So you can leave at any point. But if you can accept him for that man he is, why are you with him? That is the question. Why are you with him? Maybe you should consider letting that go. Here's where it can go both ways, because a man's going to tell you that you have to accept him for being a man. And typically, a lot of times, men use that to take advantage of a situation. But the truth is that this sets forth the choice, because relationships have boundaries. And if a man, being that man, can't accept the relationship rules, then you don't have to accept them. So it goes both ways. That's why that whole unconditional talk to me is pointless. Now, here's a real example of accepting someone for who they are. So if you met him and he was a basketball player, then you can't get mad at him for traveling overseas to play basketball, because that's how you met him. And and if you knew that you couldn't accept it, then you shouldn't have settled. Because you do have to accept it. It may not be unconditional, but there is a level of acceptance. Now, unconditional acceptance can be a bad behavior tolerance pass, because some men will definitely try to pull that card, especially when we're talking about the cheaters, that promiscuous dog who I sort of highlighted earlier, right? So we know that he wants you to accept him unconditionally, but you know that you can't fulfill that. You can't fulfill that. However, you definitely can accept him for the man he is, and that can be detached from his behavior. Is not going to always be positive, right? And there you have to take responsibilities for your actions as an adult, especially. So supporting and acknowledging him for the positive qualities that highlight his character as a man is a perfect example of what I'm talking about when I say acceptance in a healthy relationship, right? Because all that is showing him that support and telling him consistently that you appreciate it. This will pour into that need for acceptance. So without having to go that extra mile and being unconditional, because that's just not realistic. But if you can show him that support and show him that you appreciate it, that can go a long way. So I'm giving you a alternative here, right? Because we know we can't satisfy that unconditional part, but we can do things within the bounds of a healthy relationship and utilizing healthy relationship, activities, right? Another video I think you should check out in this series, because it's related to this point, is the video on a man wants you to stroke his ego, right? But only when it's real. I think that's a good video to help provide some, more clarity with this. Another thing would suggest is if you're dating a man, take your time before you commit to him. I think in the 2020s, and honestly, probably in the year 2000s and maybe even in the 90s, I feel as though we're so hell bent on moving fast. I call it the microwave generation. We don't want to slow bake anything anymore. When slow baking possibly is the best alternative, because it's going to get you the most desired result. You want real love. You want to have a real connection. That takes time. So, and if you wait longer before you engage in certain activities, that can boost the success of your relationship. The one last point I think I want to touch on, you shouldn't commit to a man who you think you can change, or you think he will change, but aren't willing to settle and accept him for the man he is now. I think that's what leads into the problems that we discussed earlier, because you're hoping that maybe he retires from basketball, right? In that previous example, and now he becomes, a stay-at-home, I don't know, husband, right? Whatever. Yeah, another profession that help him spend more time with you. But that's an unrealistic, right, expectation, or an unrealistic thing that you should put out there, because he is who he is right now. And until he changes, you can only accept someone for the man they are now. Okay? You're gonna get burnt, and he possibly will never change. So don't make that mistake. I think that's all for this video. I know you were looking to get some, shortcut as to how we can fulfill that unconditional part, but there is no fulfilling that. Love is a subjective relationship with conditions. So, oh, you know what? Let me put the disclaimer real quick. So, typically, when we talk about what a man wants in this series, we're talking about the right guy, the guy who's going to commit to you, your husband, your boyfriend, the man who's dedicated for you, or to you, I should say. That is the man we are talking about in this series. So it's very niche. We're not just talking about every man, what every man wants, is what a particular man wants. And that is that right guy. Now, I'm going to cut this here. So if you have any questions, please comment in the comment section below. I'll attach some resources for further review. So until next time, stay blessed.
Take me in your arms, do just what you want. You're the one I trust. I belong to you, and I'll always be around when I need some loving, baby. And I'll never let you down, let you down, let you down. I'm your song, and you're playing all my melodies. There's no one else, 'cause baby, we got chemistry. You give me feelings that I never knew. This heart of mine will always and forever belong to you. You and me were meant to be as one. The universe has known it all along. Maybe this is where our story starts.